And let's of course begin with the Sorcerer Kingdom. Its greatest strength of course is Ainz Sorcerer. He not only commands the great tomb of Nezarec, holding immense military power in his very own skeletalized hands, but he has also legions of the undead under his command, that he had created himself, which can be used as administrators or as simple labor drones. In other words, what artificial intelligence ideally strives to produce, robotic workers and administrative programs that make society enormously productive compared to its starting point, the Sorcerer Kingdom has already achieved, without the undead ever rebelling against Ainz Sorcerer's control ever. And fun fact, there's a hypothesis that says AI could eventually turn against humanity or at least escape control simply because its vast amount of training data included countless novels, books, papers and everything else that just talks about how an AI could escape and turn mankind into dust and such stuff. So we are literally poisoning AI by training it with all of these AI horror stories. But that's a topic for another day. Because as mentioned, all of this can't happen to Ainz Sorcerer. At least not with his own undead that he had created. They are eternally loyal only to him and he can read their mind at any single point. They can even communicate telepathically. Sure, not every thought is translated and put into his brain, and he can also toggle off this ability, but he also gets to know when, for example, a Death Knight perishes. And the only potential source of rebellion would likely come from Albedo here, or from Renna should anything happen to her pet that she disapproves of, because again, it's Renna, something will happen to her pet. In addition, the undead overlord possesses modern knowledge, and knows how to use it wisely. For example, in Volume 10, when the topic of education arose, it became clear that his strength is kept at level 100, as is the strength of any other floor guardian and likely any other being in the new world. Now, should technology or magical progress in the new world advance too quickly, or should the people in his own kingdom, educated by the Sorcerer King and his many minions, be somehow fought and shown, even though very indirectly, how to surpass their own limit, how to become stronger without the knowledge of the Sorcerer King, there's a chance that the new world would become strong enough to overpower the Grey Tomb of Nezarec itself. If Ainz were to make it possible to wish upon a star or a world-class item for everyone in the Sorcerer Kingdom, or even the entirety of the New World, to easily reach level 100, the New World would become so powerful that nations like the Empire, whose citizens numbers in the millions, would one day throw off the yoke of the Sorcerer King and rise up in rebellion. Even as loyal subjects, such immense power would still have to be accounted for, integrated, controlled, and if necessary, appeased. In other words, Ainz will continue to keep the stability of the Sorcerer Kingdom in mind, and its long-term stability as well, because again, he is immortal, he is an immortal undead, he is ageless, he won't just die from old age because he's already dead. And what he misses, in terms of rebellion, in terms of power pooling in the hands of some sort of potential rebellious group or alliance, that he didn't catch, Demiurge and Albedo will surely notice this. And although Ainz is a tyrant, an overlord, and an absolute ruler, whose authority surpasses that of any sun, king, or autocrat many times over, since in the eyes of the New World he is more of a force of nature than a mere monarch, he is not obsessed with control. He cares that his people have shelter, clothing and food, because otherwise his kingdom, which bears the name of his dear friends, would appear in a bad light. For the same reason, he does not wish to start unnecessary wars, or the like, Though that doesn't mean that he cannot wage them with absolute ruthlessness should the country's interest be threatened, or if revenge is very much desired. But Ainz does not wish to tyrannize. He does not want to micromanage, to dictate everything to everyone, or to reshape, break, and remake them into reflections of himself or some ideal image of his. There's no selective breeding program, no attempt to recreate Japan, nor any linguistic re-education effort in the sense that now everyone must learn Japanese. Though the written language has certainly gained importance in administration, because it's the language of the Sorcerer King himself, but again, it's not forced upon the people. And ideally, Ainz wishes to rule peacefully over a nation of many, in happiness and prosperity, thereby honoring and enhancing the legacy of his dear friends.